I didn't believe in village superstitions. I grew up in the city. Concrete, traffic, noise, logic. So when my uncle died and left me his old house in our ancestral village, I treated the warnings like background noise. Don't go near the graveyard after dark. Don't talk to the guard. And if you see him walking between the graves, don't let him see you. The graveyard sat at the edge of the village. Old stone walls. Iron gate hanging slightly open. Crooked headstones leaning like tired men. And according to everyone there, it had a guard. The problem? He'd been buried there 20 years ago. The first time I saw him, it was just after sunset. I couldn't sleep. The village was too quiet. No traffic. No hum of electricity. Just crickets and distant dogs. I decided to take a walk. The graveyard was only a few minutes from my uncle's house. The gate creaked when I pushed it open. Inside, the air felt heavier. Not colder, just thick. I walked past rows of graves, reading names I didn't recognize. Then I heard it. The sound of metal scraping stone. Slow, rhythmic. I turned. Near the far wall, a lantern flickered to life. And beside it, a man. Tall, thin, wearing an old uniform coat and a flat cap. Holding a shovel. He wasn't digging. He was dragging the shovel along the ground between graves. Like he was drawing a line. I froze. He didn't look at me. Just kept walking, guarding. I swallowed and called out, "Hello?" The scraping stopped. The lantern flame flickered violently. And slowly he turned his head. His face was pale. Not ghostly pale. Buried pale. Skin stretched tight. Eyes too dark. "You shouldn't be here after sunset," he said calmly. His voice sounded dry, like leaves rubbing together. "I was just walking," I replied, trying to sound normal. He stared at me for a long moment. Then he said something that made my stomach drop. "You don't belong to the ground yet." And the lantern went out. He was gone. The next morning, I asked the tea shop owner about him. The old man didn't even hesitate. "You saw Rafiq." "Who's Rafiq?" "The graveyard keeper." "Then why is everyone saying he's dead?" The old man slowly pointed toward the hill behind the graveyard. "There." I walked there that afternoon. Second row from the gate, a weathered gravestone. Rafiq Hussein, beloved guardian of the resting souls. Died 2003, buried 20 years ago. My chest felt tight. I remembered his words. "You don't belong to the ground yet." Yet, that night, I locked my doors. But around midnight, I heard it. Scraping. Not outside. Closer. I looked through my bedroom window. From my house, you could just see the graveyard wall. And over the wall, a lantern glow. Moving slowly. Back and forth. Back and forth. Like he was pacing. Guarding. But then, the light stopped and slowly began moving toward the gate. Toward the village. Toward me. The scraping sound followed. Closer. Closer. Until it stopped right outside my house. 3 slow knocks on my door. My throat went dry. "Who is it?" I asked. Silence. Then his voice. "You walked among them." My heart pounded. "I was just curious," I whispered. "They are not curious about you." The doorknob rattled once. Softly. "You stepped over fresh soil." "Fresh soil?" I hadn't noticed anything. "I didn't disturb anything," I said quickly. The air in my room grew cold. Colder than outside. "You crossed a boundary." The knocking stopped, and the scraping began again, moving away from my house, back toward the graveyard. The next morning, I went back, against my better judgment. I needed to see what he meant. I walked to the same path I took the first night, and then I saw it. One grave, the soil darker than the others, fresh, and on top of it, footprints, mine. I must have stepped there without noticing. But the name on the gravestone made my knees weak. It was blank. No name carved yet. Just a date. Yesterday's date. My chest tightened. That's when I heard the scraping behind me. I didn't turn. I'm not dead, I said quickly. You are not, he replied calmly. I felt his presence at my back. Too close. You walked across unclaimed ground. I didn't mean to. It has already been marked. The lantern light flickered beside me. I forced myself to turn. He looked worse in daylight. Skin gray, dirt beneath his fingernails, eyes hollow. You guard them, I said, trying to steady my voice. Yes. From what? For the first time he smiled. And it wasn't comforting. From leaving. A chill shot down my spine. Some of them, he continued, forget they are buried. The wind picked up suddenly. Dry leaves spun around us. And if someone walks where they should not, his eyes locked onto mine, they may take his place. The fresh soil behind me shifted slightly, just a little, like something moved underneath. I stepped away quickly. I don't belong here, I whispered. You are correct, he said softly. But the ground does not forget. That night, I packed my bags. I didn't care about pride. I didn't care about inheritance. I just wanted to leave. But as I stepped outside with my suitcase, the village was silent. No lights in any house. No dogs barking. No wind. Just stillness. And then I noticed something. Every house door had a small mark drawn in white chalk, except mine. Mine had something else. A line scratched across the wood, like it had been dragged by metal. Slowly, carefully, from top to bottom, I turned toward the graveyard. The lantern was glowing brightly, brighter than before, and I saw movement. Not one figure, many, shapes between the graves, rising slowly, like mist standing upright. My breath caught, and then I heard him, right beside me. You stepped where no one should. I didn't look at him. If I leave now, you may leave the village. He paused. But you will not leave the ground. The earth beneath my feet felt softer. I looked down. The soil was sinking slightly, like it was giving way. Panic surged through me. I didn't choose this. You walked, he said calmly. That is enough. The mist-like shapes in the graveyard began drifting toward the gate. Toward the village. Toward me. You guard them, I whispered. Stop them. I do. He turned his hollow eyes toward the approaching figures. They are not after me. The soil beneath me cracked. A hand burst through the dirt, gray, thin, gripping my ankle. I screamed and fell backward. More hands clawed up around me, cold fingers wrapping around my legs, my waist, pulling. You don't belong to the ground yet, he had said. Yet I looked at him desperately. Help me. For the first time, there was something human in his expression. Regret. You crossed unclaimed soil, he said quietly. But the grave was not finished. The hands tightened, pulling me deeper. What does that mean? I shouted. He stepped forward. The lantern light flared bright, blinding. The ground chose the wrong man. He slammed the shovel into the soil beside me. The earth trembled violently. The hands shrieked, not with sound, but with pressure in my skull. And suddenly, they let go. The soil collapsed back into place. Silence fell. I lay there gasping. The mist figures retreated slowly, back to their graves. The lantern dimmed. I looked at him, shaking. Why? I asked. He stared at the blank gravestone. The grave was prepared for another. Who? He didn't answer. Instead, he walked to his own grave. And slowly he stepped into the earth. Not falling, not sinking, just merging with it. The lantern flame flickered once, then disappeared. The next morning, I went to the graveyard one last time. The blank gravestone? Gone. In its place, a new one. Carved overnight. With a name I didn't recognize. Date of death. Today's date. And beside it, Rafiq's grave looked undisturbed. Old. Silent. Like no one had left it. I left the village that afternoon. I never went back. But sometimes late at night, When everything is quiet, I hear it. Faint, metal scraping stone. Slow, steady, guarding. And I wonder if one day, when I do belong to the ground, will he be waiting? Or will I be the one holding the lantern? Subscribe for more.